Hello, this is Spellbinder with a news update. I'm just now getting around to doing the pharmaceutical companies, the most dangerous corporations on the planet. They are definitely part of the Agenda 21 population reduction control. Their poisons that they put out do more harm than good. The ones that do good are always outweighed by the ones that do harm. And they're out to make a profit off of your sickness. So they never cure you, they only treat you for your illnesses. That's why they don't use natural cures. To do that would be a sin, because they wouldn't be able to make profit off of natural cures. That's why they want to get rid of herbal supplements and vitamins with the bill S3002. This is why they want to take and have Monsanto run everything in your food, to put GMO in everything, so you are sick and have to take their pharmaceuticals to feel well even though you're still sick. This is what's going on in America today. We're being destroyed. They're doing this across the world. They've already been starting to try to do it in Europe with the pharmaceuticals. I mean, when you have vitamin D costing $200 for 100 tablets in Germany, there's something wrong. That's why they want S3002 passed, because they can't charge you under pharmaceutical prices if it's still considered a natural drug, because nature doesn't make $1,000 pill, but synthetic pharmaceuticals do. This is the first article here. The Pusher Man, how some doctors in America profit off drugs they push, from the Health Freedom Alliance. As you can see in this little comic strip here, it says, "Hey Sonny, look, you look depressed. Here, take some Prozac. It's nice and poisonous. Your hyperactivity, you need Ritalin, a speed that's synthetic. Take this, take that. It's okay. I'm a doctor, see? I'm in a white coat. I got glasses on. You can believe me." Yeah, right. Like I said, don't trust anyone you see on TV in a white coat, a suit and tie, because they're probably an actor and they're acting to make you buy or take something that was not good for you. A recent investigation by ProPublica found 170,000 physicians are receiving cash and perks from pharmaceutical companies for promoting drugs. The investigation was a joint venture with ProPublica for a non-profit independent newsroom. PBS Nightly Business Report, the Chicago Tribune, the Consumer Reports, the Boston Globe, the NPR. Another recent study done by the team at Harvard University and Massachusetts General Hospital did a survey of 1,900 primary care doctors about their contracts with drug companies and found 84% reported some type of relationship with the drug companies. This is still a high number compared to the same report done by Harvard in 2004 that found 94% reporting some connections. Reuters reports that Eric Campbell, who led the Harvard study and who teaches at the Harvard Medical School, said doctors continue to think they cannot be influenced by free drug samples and a fancy lunch, a notion he said defies basic social science. Putting doctors in a position to be salespersons is a conflict of interest, as motivations to prescribe people medication in order to receive perks and cash puts patients' health on the line. Since 2004, Harvard report, academic and government agencies have been pressuring doctors to sever their ties with drug companies, and ProPublica reports are a great step in the direction of informing consumers. It is based on reports from 7 companies: AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly and Company, Pfizer, Silicon, and Johnson & Johnson, who were acquired to disclose doctor payments as part of their settlement agreements with the U.S. Department of Justice, and Merck and Company, Merck and Company, and Glasgow and Smith & Kline, who provide the information voluntarily, but these are only 7 out of the 70 pharmaceutical companies operating in the United States, and although they account for 36% of U.S. prescription drug sales, ProPublica states that while that's a sizable share of the market, it suggests that there are many more payments from other drug companies that consumers don't even know their doctors are receiving. Thankfully, the giant Novartis will have to begin disclosing physician payments by March 2011 due to settlements reached in the fall of the Justice Department. The rest of the companies will be required to publicize their reports due to legislation in this year's healthcare reform known as Physicians Payment Sunshine Act, which would take effect in 2013. These profits from pharmaceutical industries, either by making the pills or selling them to patients, will tell you that modern medicine is necessary and good for the people of the United States, and money paid for giving speeches and writing prescription holds no influence on the care given that they give and forwards awareness of knowledge regarding the prescription. Drug companies will tell you millions of dollars they pay physicians for speaking and consulting is just compensation for the laudable work of educating their colleagues. In actuality, and in all obviousness, it's just an elaborate and effective marketing scheme. Big Pharma pays doctors to be their pusher men for the drugs they create. And another thing they won't tell you is that doctors in the market they're all taught by textbooks written by the pharmaceutical companies. Just do your research. You'll find out that 99% of the textbooks that the doctors go through medical school with were written by the very companies that sell the drugs. So what do you think they're going to do when they prescribe things to you? Or you think they're going to prescribe something like a mushroom or a natural herbal medicine to cure the same thing and then going to cost pennies? Or they're going to give you the $50, $60 bottle of medicine made by the pharmaceutical companies? This is a fact, and they do this all the time. This is what's on their record. It says some of these companies already have records stained with promoting drugs illegally while using doctors as their pawns. All of the companies have recorded for profits-driven businesses tactics and leave a wake of sickness and death. Recent whistleblower lawsuits have proven a rare glimpse into the inner workings of the drug markets. In several instances, ex-employees of the drug giants say physicians were told to push off-label uses of drugs, those not approved by the U.S. regulators, a market tactic banned by the federal law. Last year, Pfizer paid $2.3 billion in settlement allegations in other cases that had allegedly promoted its drugs. Cephalon discussed the antipsychotics Seroquel and conducted disorders in children even though it was not approved for that use. AstraZeneca settled with the government for $520 million in April. In 2008, the misdemeanor court was selling misbrand drugs and paid $425 million in penalties. ProPublica highlights 43 doctors' earnings. But the thing they don't tell you is that what they paid in penalties was only a tenth or a quarter of what they made in overall profits off of the drugs they did sell over that period of time. So they didn't get hurt. Nothing was taken away from them. People, you're just being lied to and you don't even know it. You're being poisoned. You're being Agenda 21, population reduction. And this is the example video of what they're doing to you right now.
But the US government is fighting back. In the last 2 years alone, it's fined 6 of America's top 10 pharmaceutical companies for fraud. Investigations are ongoing against another 3. Of the 10, only Roche remains untouched. In this period, the industry has had to pay out over $5 billion in fines. And at the top of the list sits Pfizer, the world's biggest drug company, with a global net profit of $8.6 billion. In September 2009, Pfizer settled civil and criminal charges with the federal government for illegally marketing 4 drugs.
The Pfizer Corporation just paid $2.3 billion for fraud. Biggest fraud case in U.S. history, biggest criminal fine, biggest False Claims Act case. The company made about $180 billion selling 12 drugs. They paid $2.3 billion in fines. That is a good business plan.
And Pfizer certainly had an interesting way of doing business. Witnesses in the case revealed just how the company persuaded doctors to prescribe its drugs. It entertained them in strip clubs. It told them that the blues teenagers feel when they don't make the football team were signs of treatable depression. And it paid them to endorse Pfizer drugs. One doctor received $150,000 in a year. Details of Pfizer's behaviour came to light thanks to a small band of whistleblowers. Glenn DeMott was a top Pfizer rep selling the drug Bextra and earning $100,000 a year.
They were training us to say things to physicians that were not accurate. Bextra was not approved to be used for acute pain. And we were out there trying to get standing orders for acute pain. So that just wasn't going to work for me. I didn't even understand why we were doing it.
And there you have it, a whistleblower coming out and telling you that he was pushing the drugs to physicians and making $100,000 a year to do that, just to sit around and convince them, hey, use this. It's not the intended purpose, but hey, we think it will stop pain. Do you understand now? You're being drugged and poisoned like rats. This is all part of it. I'm telling you, you're going to have to wake up. You're going to have to smell the fascist and industrial complex. This is plain and simple. We're under the control of fascists who are running our government. It's corporations that run our government. That's why they don't listen to you. That's why you can tell them, I don't want S510. I don't want S510 in any form under Agenda 21. I don't want that. I don't want to be killed. And they don't listen to you. They don't care. Their monies are being lined by lobbyists. And as long as the lobbyists are putting money in their pockets, they're not going to listen to their constituents. We have been hoodwinked by a bunch of people that need to be removed out of government. We need to have them recalled immediately. We got to put a list of names of people in Congress and in the Senate that pass these bills and have them recalled immediately. Have the people recall them, say they're not doing their constitutional job. They're violating their constitutional oath. They need to be pulled out and replaced with somebody who will follow the constitutional oath, who don't take money from lobbyists, who don't even want anything to do with the Federal Reserve note. So why would they want counterfeit money? We gotta end the Fed too. That's part of it, because they're just printing this money up and giving it to them in giant stacks, and apparently, it still buys things because the people that take the money believe it's worth something, even though it's counterfeit. It has nothing backing it. No commodity, no gold, no silver. And our government needs to take the money back and back it with commodities, with silver, with gold, with corn, with wheat, with rice. I mean, with textiles, anything is better than backing it with nothing, where you can just go to the printing press and just print up as much as you want, like the Fed's been doing. I mean, China owns all the Fed's money, and when the Fed finally gets known that they're counterfeiters, we'll just have to turn them over to the Chinese and say, hey, the American people don't owe you anything, China. If we were hoodwinked too by these counterfeiters, we hand them over to you for punishment. And I'm pretty sure that punishment for them will be the most cruelest thing that they'd ever imagine when they're turned over to them. Because right now, China's holding trillions of dollars just to keep their products cheap for the American markets. And so they have a chance of losing money when everything falls anyways. So we're going to have to turn them over to the Chinese. And the medical corporations, they're going to have to be put on a leash because they're making too much money, the pharmaceuticals are. Well, I'm going to have to go now. I just wanted you to see that, but you know that you're being hoodwinked left and right. Politicians are paid for by pharmaceutical company, and we're going to have to stop them. So until next time, be good at it, and have a great day, and keep fighting. We can win if we just keep fighting.